and whether it contravenes certain articles of the Constitution. The second one was who is to blame for drawing unconstitutional agreements or documents. I think that is also something that can be tried in court in my view. If anybody suspects whether this document is constitutional or not, I think the best thing to do is to try it in our courts, and they will of course give directions on what can be done. Now, the other one was whether we have investigated any criminal conduct against the DP. I think I had indicated clearly that we have not investigated the Deputy President for any criminal culpability or any criminal case as far as EACC is concerned. Senator Chute, thank you very much for the compliment. I appreciate. Now, the issue of bullying of KEMSA officers or staff, I think that came from the CEO himself, and he gave evidence in this House that will be considered by the House whether it is something that can stand the test or not. As for Thierry Ramadan, we did our bit in terms of recommending this lady to be disciplinary action be taken against her for her role in this particular procurement. But because I indicated we don't have the compellence powers to enforce disciplinary or administrative action, I leave it at that. And whether our recommendation is for the impeachment of the DP, ours was to respond to the summons that was given to us, response which was raised by the Honorable Senator for Kajiado County about the role of Crystal Kenya Limited and the connection between that company and the Honorable Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. From the documents that we have and which we supplied, it is clear that this company, the directors are two sons of the Deputy President. Each one of them owns 200 shares. They are the only directors of that particular company. And that is the nexus between the Deputy President, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, and that particular company. And that is our response as of now. So, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. That's it.
Counsel for the Deputy President, we'll give you 10 minutes. Starting now.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I'll share my minutes with my colleague Ndegonjiro. My questions are limited to the issue of the shareholder agreements. I'll be quick. The questions were asked by my learned senior and colleague and friend, Professor Ojenda, Catherine Muma, and Senator Omtata. I'll begin with the questions by my learned senior, Mr. Ojenda, and I'll begin with the second question he asked. He asked, is the relationship between the President and the Deputy President irretrievably broken? That's not a legal question, but in my experience as a Kenyan, there is no such thing as an irretrievably broken political relationship. Members of Jubilee, a party I served as an advocate for, woke up in March 2018 to find their leader shaking hands with his opponent at Harambee House, and they subsequently found a way to work. A few months ago, the President and the Honorable former Prime Minister have found a way to work. There's no such thing as an irretrievable political relationship. Secondly, leadership constitutionally is not so much about how you feel. It is about your duty and your responsibility constitutionally. Your feelings must take a back seat to your duty to the people of Kenya. Secondly, I was asked about the counties. Now, when you look at these shareholder agreements, and again, if members will go with me to page 418, where you find the shareholder agreement between ANC, Ford Kenya, and UDA. Sorry? Oh, volume, sorry. I don't know how to increase the volume.
Council, sorry, Council, Members, I'm getting a bit lost when you say UNDA. UNDA, if spelling in Swahili is UNDA.
No, UDA. Sorry, I come from Kenya.
United
It's
Democratic Alliance. If you use maybe the you first make clear.
I'm sorry.
That it is United Democratic Alliance.
Yes. I'm sorry. We use acronyms. I'm sorry. It's the United Democratic Alliance Party. The full name of Amani is Amani National Congress Party, and the full name for Ford Kenya is Ford Kenya Party. So their agreement at page 429, you will note, Professor Ojenda, it does not talk about counties. The agreements seem to have been structured in regions. It talked about region. Now, I don't know what they meant by those regions, but what I can tell you is that at paragraph 20...
Also, I will allow Mr. Habdi to have a seat somewhere as you conclude.
Yes, as I said, Honorable Senator for Kisumu, at page 429, which would be paragraph 20, subparagraph O, that's the first proviso there was. Further terms, parameters, and details of the sharing of positions of responsibility in the national government pursuant to this article shall be contained in a separate schedule to this agreement, which schedule shall be negotiated and executed before the date of the general election scheduled on 9th August 2022. So this was not a final agreement. My understanding is that there were further schedules. I don't know what those schedules said. They are not available at the Register of Political Parties. They may very well have included all the counties you asked for. Maybe Kisumu was in the subsequent schedule, I don't know. Secondly, the drafters of this, as I've said, were careful to stay within the confines of the Constitution, because at paragraph 22, subparagraph G, this is what they said. Notwithstanding the content of this article, the founding member parties hereby commit to make any adjustments that may be necessary to accommodate the development priorities of other parts of the country, to ensure equitable distribution of Kenya's national resources and wealth for the benefit of every citizen and every part of Kenya. So there was a proviso to ensure that the document was constitutional. And perhaps while I'm on that issue as well, I might as well answer my good friend Senator Mtata's question. I am not yet mercifully a judge. I cannot say whether the Kenya Kwanza coalition is unconstitutional. Somebody will have to move the court for that determination to be made. But what I did say was that in 2005, I had the privilege in participating in a case involving the MOU for NAC. And that one was struck down because the law had no underpinning making room for it. And which brings me to the question raised by Senator Catherine Muma, which is the political parties section. There's the if you would go to Schedule 3, graph C, B, that's what it says. Positions in the coalition, structure, roles, and responsibilities within the coalition. So that's what it says. So most political coalitions have interpreted that to mean, and it's been healthy thus far. I think it's helped, in my view, this country become a bit more stable and united. And I think I've answered all those questions that had to do with the question of the shareholder agreements. Unless members had any clarification, I rest.
Thank you, Council, for DP. Council Ndegwa, you have something to pick, or do we conclude it at that?
Specific questions and clarifications. Noting at the mood of the House, perhaps I can indulge the House. I respond the same after lunchtime.
No. After lunch, we are a main witness.
Very well, Mr. Speaker, sir.
So what we can do, Council Ndegwa, allow me to invoke Standing Order 34.2A for the convenience of the House to add 5 minutes. So the House will rise at 1:05 instead of 1.
I am well guided by your wisdom.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, sir, there were 2 questions for the National Assembly side to respond.
Okay,
2 questions.
then let's do this. Let's do this. Instead of the House rising at 1:05, we will rise at 1:15. So you'll take your 5 minutes, and then the rest shall be given to the Council for the National Assembly.
I am well guided, Mr.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the witness is asking if he can leave the
Absolutely.
platform?
He's discharged.
Thank you very kindly, Mr. Speaker, sir. I was